So I'm thinking of making a new type of video where I'm doing real life vlogging. I hope I'm not going to get arrested because so far every single real life streamer that I have seen has managed to get himself in trouble with the cops. Aim, stand back, we will defend ourselves. Yeah, I hope it doesn't come to that. Um, Instead, I'll just talk about short political things. For example, did you know that Twitter decided to ban bitchute? Like they banned bitchute links, which is a good thing because it means they're afraid of bitchute. And this, I think, happens after a lot of journalistic outlets have recently started condemning bitchute. And there was a while when they didn't say anything about bitchute at all. And it kind of makes sense. Like, if you want to censor something, if it's a small problem, talking about it gives it attention. But if the problem has exponential growth, then you kind of need to address it. You kind of need to address it in order to find ways to stop it. And I think bitchute is growing quite large now, mostly due to the insane amounts of censorship that you see on other platforms, especially surrounding COVID, especially seeing how Twitter is outright just banning what the US president has to say. There's a lot of censorship that is done with the intent to quote unquote protect people's lives, which is very interesting because they're not censoring, for example, the mainstream media when they are hyping up COVID nonstop, like 24/7, they're talking about it. And I know an acquaintance of mine who went to med school, and she didn't go to the hospital even though she had really nasty stomach pain and bleeding. And she didn't go to the hospital because she would look at the mainstream media reporting nonstop, and she didn't want to get sick. And recently she went to the hospital and she was diagnosed with stage 3 stomach cancer. There's another university professor which was at my uni. I didn't work with her, but there were other friends of mine from different classes that did. And she was teaching anatomy. And what happened was that she had heart pains and she didn't want to go to the hospital because she was afraid of getting sick. So what ends up happening is that eventually she dies of a heart attack. And I can get like a lot of cases from people that I actually know, and all of them had complications. Some of them died because they didn't want to go to the hospital because they were afraid. And the mainstream media isn't held accountable for it. I mean, we're trying to save lives. I mean, and the mainstream media is like nonstop, 24/7, hyping it up because it gives good ratings. It gives people the ability to stay glued to their television sets because they want to find out like what's next. And like they have these interviews where they like show the hospital lines and they show like how many people are being sick, and they constantly talk about the numbers and whatnot. That causes panic, doesn't it? That causes hysteria, doesn't it? But for some reason the mainstream media is allowed to do it. I guess they do it for the righteous reasons, right? Jesus, I saw like in what was it, in America? Yeah, like in America, in a state, one of the mayors said that people aren't allowed to have house parties anymore. So they shut down every single public gathering. And now they say like if you're going to have a party at your house, still work in progress. I still need to figure out how to grab the phone. Basically, they said if you're going to have a public party at your house, they're allowed to now shut off your electricity, to cut off your water, and then they're going to have the cops interrogate you for, like, why did you have this private party in your own private place? And I don't think that's constitutional. I mean, that's the right to public gathering, right? And now even like private gathering is not okay. And you would say, well, like they want to save lives, right? Because that's the answer to every single human problem that we face. It's more government. That is the only solution, regardless what the problem is, whether that is global warming or in this case a disease. Well, whatever the problem is, just more government. Just have more government. Just more. Give government more power. And in a way, it's true. I mean, if everyone was being placed in a isolation unit at a maximum security prison, like most of these problems would go away, right? Like if you are controlled with every aspect of your life, everything that you're allowed to think, everything that you're allowed to say, then yeah, a lot of problems will just magically go away. The only problem is that the people in charge aren't being controlled. The wardens of the prison, they're still allowed to have independent thought and make all their independent decisions. Let me show you some pigeons. Like, look here. Look here. Like the mating season. Yeah, what I like about pigeons is like they fluff themselves up like that. Look how thick that pigeon is, right? And if you go next to him, he gets really small. I think like that's a male trying to intimidate another male, if I'm not mistaken. And look at black pigeon's pics. Look what he's doing. But yeah, so as I was saying, there needs to be the question. It's like, do they really want to save people's lives? And when you look at it, you notice that the same politicians are encouraging protesting. That's fine. Like, protesting is fine. And I think like that American doctor, what's his name? Dr. Fauci, I believe. He refused to call out protesting, even though it's a massive gathering, doesn't have social distancing. Many of them don't even wear masks. And that's fine. But if you want to have like a couple of people to come over to your house to eat some pretzels and watch television, then your neighbor Karen might phone the authorities and they're going to cut off the electricity and the water to your house. And you have to ask the question, it's like, aren't these people taxpayers? Like, don't these people pay for these services? I mean, where is the limit to where the government is not allowed to do these things, even if it's for safety? I mean, it used to be a liberty or death, right? Even this video is probably going to get demonetized and suppressed because I'm just suggesting that maybe the government shouldn't have the power to do what they're doing right now. And it's only leftist governments that do these things, and it doesn't surprise me because now left-leaning governments is all about power, like how to gain power. That's literally what they talk about. Like, listen to whatever left-leaning politicians you want, and they're always going to talk about power, how to gain more power, how to get more power, how to increase the government. Like right now, raising taxes seems to be an actual campaign program, and they expect people to vote for them. It's ridiculous. You get to see this hypocrisy. And I think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez recently posted a tweet. Like, I have it screenshotted, but I can't upload now because I'm on my phone. It's probably going to be in This Week in Stupid. But she posted a tweet saying that it's good to keep businesses closed and to keep the economy down because a good economy would only advantage Donald Trump. So it's okay if a couple of businesses suffer because businesses aren't as important as people. Like, that's their mantra that they're going with now. As if people can't die from starvation, as if losing your business doesn't go to depression and in some other cases self-harm. No. Like, that's fine. And when you think like that, it's like it makes sense why they're doing what they're doing. It's not about protecting people, even though they can claim it is. It's all about controlling people and instilling terror into their citizenry. Basically, if you vote right-wing, like, we're going to keep doing this to you because we can. Like, look, there's nothing stopping us from doing this. But maybe if you vote Joe Biden, then we're going to stop doing it. Because then, like, there's no point in keeping the economy down or whatnot. And again, like, articulating this technically shouldn't be against the terms of service to any of the social media platform. Because I'm not trivializing the pandemic. I'm not saying that getting people to social distance wouldn't work. What I am saying is that I doubt what the leaders are placing their intentions on, like what their actual intentions on. Like I don't think they're actually there to try to save people's lives. I think they are more there in order to get political gain. And saying this is controversial nowadays, which is why a lot of things from social media don't exist. Like they get banned, so people are moving to bitchute, and this is why a lot of mainstream media people and social media people are worried because they don't have control over bitchute. Like that's not something they have power over. And it's very interesting because if you look at how social media works, they usually take their cues from the mainstream media. Like, for example, the conference with the doctors that Donald Trump has posted on Twitter, it was taken down from Twitter when a New York Times journalist complained about. When a New York Times journalist told Twitter, it's like, oh, look, the president is posting misinformation, they actually deleted the tweet from the US president. So yeah, like the mainstream media also has a vested interest in social media remaining exactly how it is today because they got a lot of power over it. And I think the way they have power over it is that the mainstream media has a lot of control on activists. You know, like remember during Gamergate and when feminists were saying, oh, if you have like a large number of subscribers, you have a bigger responsibility on what you say because you can encourage a harassment campaign, blah, blah, blah. That's what the journalists are doing. For example, when Facebook refused to ban the US president and they said, no, we're for free speech. What ended up happening was that there were a lot of activists that went and protested in front of Facebook. And I think there were even people from Facebook that did a walkout. So it really affected their ability to do business. And, you know, that's what companies are afraid of. I think that was just a shot across the bow. Like it told Facebook, like, look, if you stop playing ball, we can do bad things to you. That's what it was about. So that's why companies are really afraid and terrified of some of these journalists. But yeah, let me know what you think and tell me if you like this video format. Every now and then you might even see a squirrel. Like I saw a couple of squirrels getting down the trees. They're really beautiful. I'm kind of sad that in my city people didn't teach the squirrels to be more tame. Like I used to go into the city, and if you have a nut in your hand, you could actually get a squirrel to come up to you and take the nut away from your hand. Like that was really cute. Maybe I can even feed some pigeons every now and then. Right. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys later.